Hey, my loves, welcome back to another episode of the Know Who You Are podcast. I am your host, Misa Love, and we are banging out episode number 3, which I am super excited about, you guys. And I feel like the perfect topic to talk about today is letting go of the limits on your mind. Letting go and releasing limited beliefs and really believe in yourself and stop overthinking, because those are things that will really generate you into getting into that next level. So let's talk about it. I feel personally, right, when it comes to limiting beliefs, that is all surrounded by, I feel, two different things, right? I feel like it is a part of fear. You're fearful of something. You're fearful of not being successful or things not working out in your favor. I feel limiting beliefs and taking the limiting beliefs off of your mind means for you to get to the point where you are in agreement that fear can no longer control who you are and what you know about yourself, right? Because a lot of times it's the thing, this 4-letter word fear, that holds us back from really accomplishing our goals, and that causes us to put those limits on ourselves. And remember, when you're putting limits on your mind, you're limiting God. And God has no limits. There's nothing that He cannot do. But it takes your belief system, it takes your faith, and it takes you putting forth the work. So we're definitely going to dive into taking the limits off of your mind. And before we get deeper into that, I work in customer service. I'm not sure if you guys know, but I do work in customer service, my 9 to 5. And I had a customer, him and I was having a conversation, and he said something to me. Listen, I don't know how the conversation got personal, but we ended up talking about fear, and just having deep conversation. And something he said to me was, fear is a choice. You decide to be fearful of something. It's up to you. So you really do make that choice to be afraid. And he went on to ask me the question, what are you afraid of? Why are you afraid? Right? And just to give you a context of the conversation, we was talking about traveling, solo traveling. And that really put things into perspective for me, because I am choosing to fear my goals, my dreams, my visions. I'm choosing to be fearful of those things that could actually elevate my life. Why am I fearful of those things? I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because I allowed myself to put limits on my mind. See, I allowed myself to believe, and this is just me being 100% transparent with you guys right now, because we're family, right? I allowed myself to believe that trauma from my childhood, because of the things I endured while coming up, the hardships I had in life, right? I allowed myself to believe that because of all those things I went through, I was not good enough to come outside of it. But that is a lie. And that is me allowing fear to consume my life, because I've been through XYZ, that's how things are always going to be for me. So I might as well, why try something different? So it's better to put that coat of fear over the trauma and the fear over the hardships and say, I'll just move forward in this energy because I kind of got used to it, right? And that is not the best way to do things. That's extremely unhealthy. And I feel like as time progresses, it's time to heal. It's time to heal. And a part of healing is acknowledging those things that you are fearful of. And it's also acknowledging and holding yourself accountable for the plans and things you're not putting into motion in your life, right? So just thinking about limiting beliefs, it can really hinder you. And before you know it, you'll wake up 10 years from now, 15 years from now, with that same limiting belief, living that same life, and all you had to do was break up with fear. Wow. Now that's a word. Break up with fear. And not only break up with fear, believe in yourself and know who you are. You know? And if you don't fully know who you are and you don't know the extent of what you can do, that's when you go on this self-evaluation journey to developing who you are so that you can know who you are. And once you know who you are, when that fear creeps up, you can speak to that thing and say, that's not who I am. You have to go. You're not welcome here anymore. You get what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with this conversation? Because let me tell you, limiting your thoughts, limiting your beliefs, limiting the things that you can do is a hindrance. It is a hindrance that's going to keep you stuck and stagnant in that same situation that you've been in for the past 5 years. You don't want to be like that 5 more years. It's like I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I know what this stagnant energy feels like. I know what it is not to move forward. I know how that feels. I know how it feels to fear things. Now it's time to try something different. I have to take those limits off of my mind. Those limits that was set in place to keep me stuck. I am in control over my thoughts, over my actions, over my choices. So if I have power over my choices, why do I choose fear when that's counterproductive to where I envision myself going in this lifetime? Where I envision myself impacting people around the world. Take the limits off of your mind. Let go, let God, and move forward in who you are. Another point I would like to make is a lot of times we get into this place where we put our hopes and our desires and look for happiness in other people, right? In the Bible, that's labeled as a man. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean a man or just a man in general. Is man or woman. So I want to encourage you that it's not very good. It's not a great idea to put your hope and your dreams and, well, your hopes and how am I trying to say this? Let me slow down because I want to say this correctly. Do not put all your hope in man, because when you depend on someone to bring you a certain feeling or to give you the same energy that you give them, that could lead to what I call the 3Ds. And if you see me looking over or looking down, I'm just referring to my notes because I want to say this right, correctly. It refers to the 3Ds, right? And I wrote this down in my little journal. It's important to journal, you guys. Write down your thoughts, write down how your day went so you can reflect back and see the growth as you're on this journey to becoming the greatest you, right? So you should not put your hope in man, because it will lead to the 3Ds: disappointment, doubt, and discouragement. And this also can add on to you putting limits on your mind, because if you put hope into someone else, right, it starts off when that person don't come through or they don't execute how you felt they should have, right? It could lead you to the feeling of disappointment. And what does disappointment do? It brings this little brother with them. And that little brother is doubt. You begin to doubt who you are. Because, hey, if I ask for such and such to help me out with this and they told me they'll do it, but then I didn't hear from them. Maybe I'm not that important. So your disappointment went from that to doubt. And now you're sitting in doubt. And doubt brings his little cousin. His little cousin is discouragement. So now you're being affected in this whirlwind of things, doubt, discouragement, disappointment, from putting your hope into someone else when you should be putting that into God. Now, I'm not saying we don't need people, because we all need someone. You know, we're humans. We desire that human interaction, those relationships, right? We desire those things, but when it comes to your self-development and the things you desire to do in your life, to better yourself, sometimes you have to step outside of other people, go within yourself, lean into God, and truly focus on where you're supposed to be going. Everybody can't come with you, and everybody is not going to be willing to help you on your journey. So if your limiting beliefs are coming from the root of being hurt and disappointed by other people, baby, listen, you gotta let that go. You gotta let that hurt go. Forgiveness, you have to come into forgiveness. You have to let that hurt go, and you have to move forward. So I want to say this, right? Everything that we feel on the inside is validated. Not necessarily saying it's validated in a good way, because we could have some negative behaviors that are not validated in a positive way. But when I say validated, I'm saying there's a root to why you feel that way. There's a root to what happened to cause you to act out this way. And if you could get to the root of your fear, if you could get to the root of that limited belief, it will project you further, because it allows you the opportunity to understand where it originated from. See, when you know the origin of something, you know how to send it back. So, okay, this happened to me in my childhood, but right now, that's not who I am. So that can no longer attach itself to me. Yes, I went through it. I can learn from it, but I'm going to go through it, and I'm no longer going to allow it to be me a victim to fear that this happened to me. This is always going to happen to me. That is not the case. It's all about your mindset. You have to nurture your mind. You have to move forward in faith and know in a radical way that your life matters, and the things you have to offer matters. And those limited beliefs is doing nothing but holding you back, and it's time to take the limiting beliefs off of your mind. You have to. 2023, those limited beliefs can no longer live there. Those deep-rooted traumas, I'm not saying that you shouldn't remember that you went through them, because it's a part of who you are. But what I am saying is, it's time to release that trauma. It's time to release it, to grow from it, and to stop allowing it to have you in the victim mentality. Because a victim mentality will keep you stuck. A victim mentality will keep you planted in limited beliefs. And you know, it's really important, it's very important to know, where exactly are you planted right now in this season of your life? Where are you planted? And if you fully don't know who you are, start to evaluate, where am I planted? Are you planted in faith? Are you planted in building a business and actually dedicated to it? Are you planted in saying, okay, I haven't been so great at this instance in my life, but I'm gonna work on this month. I'm gonna dedicate this entire month to building new patterns. I'm gonna start with making my bed every day, right? I've never made my bed in the morning, but just that one simple habit, getting up every day, making your bed, and actually doing it for a whole month, it becomes like second nature. So with that limited belief of believing that you can't be more, you can't do more, you can't have the life that you see for yourself, you can. And just like you getting up every morning, making that bed, and walking back to your room and seeing that bed made, that's progress. That's a small step that's gonna lead to the bigger doors opening. You have to just start somewhere. Somewhere. If fear is overcoming you, every day get up and say, you know what, fear, today you will not win. Not today, fear. Every day, if you have to break up with fear and put that fear at God's feet. Listen, 2023, I feel is a very, it's a special year. 23 is a special number. I feel like 23 is a special year, and the ground is fertile. So right now, I want to say, if you're not planted in something that you desire to be planted in, it's time to uproot those roots. Dig them up. Dig them up and get replanted in who you are. If you no longer associate with those limited beliefs or the doubts of the past, you have to call those things out and say, I am not those things, but I am strong. I am capable. I am working towards my goals on a daily basis. I am excellent. I am amazing. Affirm over your life and put those limited beliefs to rest, because it's doing nothing but holding you back from who you truly are. And the world needs you. The world needs you, and we're waiting for you. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Everybody's journey is going to be different. We're not meant to be the same, right? We're not meant to be the same. So the important part is to just start. To just start, take the limiting beliefs off of your mind. Small steps daily, whatever that may look like for you. And just start. Get something moving. I love you guys. This is episode 3, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.